Hey, by popular demand, and by popular demand I mean like 9 people on Patreon, we're doing a ranking of some popular plants right now that I don't like. And we're gonna do it tier list style because why not? It's fun. So a couple disclaimers before we get started. Obviously, if you like these plants that I'm about to destroy, that is fine. I'm not judging anyone who sells these plants, anyone who has created these plants, taken pictures of these plants. We're just judging the plants on their own merit. This is not a comment on anybody's qualities as a person. Even though my bottom tier is labeled compost, I wouldn't actually throw out any of these plants if I was like gifted them. I would probably keep them, propagate them, sell them if they were worth something, give them away for free. I'm not just gonna like throw plants out. Another thing when it comes to popularity and what's trending, one, I feel like I'm kind of out of the loop because I don't actually watch that many YouTube videos on plants. I'm usually looking at other stuff. I've also been away for a few weeks, and this year in general, I haven't been buying and selling plants as earnestly as I maybe have in the past. So I just feel a little bit disconnected from the market. So the plants I picked are ones that I feel like I've seen people talk about them. I feel like I've seen them a lot in shops, and some of them are commanding quite a high price tag. But of course, I don't know if people are actually buying them, and just because something is worth a lot of money doesn't mean people actually want it. Like, it can be rare, but not necessarily popular. So with that being said, if you have actually purchased any of these plants and you like them, please let me know, because sometimes I just don't know if they're actually popular or if it's just shops trying to convince us that they're popular or trending so that they can sell more of them, you know? Oh, also, almost forgot. So I think we just need to like talk about my shirt for a second. So hopefully you can see that, okay, a few weeks ago, the designer of Pitna reached out to me and asked if he could design a custom shirt for me. So of course I said yes, because that is awesome. And now I have a shirt with my own picture on it and my name. So I feel like you've really made it in the world once you have a shirt with your name on it. So I'm like kind of beaming about that. So if you like this design, in the Pitna store, there are a lot of other planty designs. There's a Monstera Deliciosa one that's like really, really cool. And I'm really big on supporting small businesses and artists and designers, and all of these designs are hand done. They're not just like stolen art. So I 100% recommend checking them out. T-shirt is nice and thick, high quality, super comfy, typical standard t-shirt. I love it. Okay, so let's get started. You're gonna notice a lot of trends on this list. There are a lot of alocasias. I tried to pick plants from all the different, well, not all of them, but multiple different genera, so we weren't just picking on the alocasia lovers, but there are a lot of alocasias, so if you're an alocasia person, I apologize in advance. The categories, so at the best of the worst, we have I'll allow it. So, I'm not gonna judge you too hard if you have this plant. It's fine. I might even keep one and enjoy it if I came across one. Meh is like, okay, if someone like gifted it to me or if it was in a trade, I wouldn't like immediately get rid of it. I may grow it out for a bit and see how it is, but likely not one that's gonna stay in my collection very long. Please stop. These are mostly plants that I just don't get. I don't understand. Compost is the worst of the worst and would be ones I would get rid of very quickly if they came into my possession. So without further ado, let's just get started. I don't really know where to start. Hopefully I can remember the names of these as well. So let's start with, I believe this is Alocasia Loco. Yeah, this one is Loco, or is this Venom? No. This is Alocasia Venom. So Alocasia Venom is quite expensive from what I can see and quite sought after. I personally really don't get this. Actually, I think we're starting strong because I think this is arguably one of the worst on the list. Like, I get it, it's cool and different and I appreciate that, but even the pattern of variegation just does not look good to me. So I'm sorry, this one is a compost. I'm so sorry, I really am. Okay, next we've got another alocasia. And can I just say, there are way too many variegated alocasias. I could have put dozens more variegated alocasias on this list, and they all look the same, and they're all starting to get these like stupid names that don't make any sense. And I think because alocasias are so easy to tissue culture, they're just getting so mass produced, and every time a grower who's doing tissue culture gets like a slightly different version, it's like, oh great, now we can go and sell this. And I'm not here for it. I believe this one is Alocasia Black Velvet Ninja variegated. I think this is the one they call Ninja. I've also seen like Ninja Splash. I think just please stop. It's not the ugliest, I'll give it that, but it doesn't really have anything going for it. So yeah, sorry. Okay, next. Next we have, this is Philodendron Micans Mint. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't get this one at all. I didn't like the first variegated Micans, the pink one, even though it wasn't that pink and it was kind of that like yellowy variegation. At least I saw some that looked good. This photo is the best that I could find, and it still does not look appealing at all. And when I saw them for sale, they were not cheap. So yeah, I do not understand. Probably compost for that one as well. Not off to a great start. Okay, this next one, I believe this was a new one for me. I think this is Philodendron Firebird? No, they'll look this up. Okay, I think this one is Princess of Fire, which is apparently just a Philodendron Pink Princess mutation. And I will admit that that picture of it looks quite good, but honestly, I'm just a little tired of the Philodendron urbescens, I think is the species name. I'm a little bit tired of all the mutations. You've got Pink Princess, White Knight, White Wizard. Those are like the classics. And then a bazillion variations of each of those. And I'm kind of done with it. So yes, I admit this screenshot looks pretty good, but I think that's more of like the exception than the rule. This has been grown under very strong light. You can tell. I don't think it would look as good in person. So that one I think I'm gonna leave in Met because it's like, it's not terrible, but I still don't get it. All right, I believe this is Alocasia Simpo variegated. Honestly, I have a hard time with the alocasias, the variegated alocasias, because they all look very similar, and it's a struggle to tell them apart, especially when I don't really care. I like alocasias that have nice white variegation, and it seems like they vary a lot in how bright the white variegation is. The Simpos, I feel like they've always, at least most of the pictures that I've seen, and I have tried to choose photos that are, I think, somewhat representative. The ones I see are usually neither an Aurea variegation or an Albo variegation. They're just kind of like a greenish variegation. And I get that some people like that, and that's fine if you're into that green on green variegation. I'm not. It just feels like you could do better, you know? You could try a little bit harder. So I think I'm gonna put it in please stop, because I don't think that the alocasia itself is bad. I think the shape of the leaves and everything is nice. The texture of the leaves is nice, but the variegation really makes it worse, in my opinion. Okay, I feel like this next one is gonna be a bit controversial. Actually, I feel like I can't take these in order, because then you're gonna know what I'm gonna do next, and I have to keep people guessing. let's do a Scindapsus next. This is, I believe, Scindapsus pisum, and I kind of get it, but it just, again, the Scindapsus variegated varieties, the naming has gotten so out of hand. You get one slight variation and all of a sudden we're calling it something different, and I don't understand what the differences are between some of these. It seems just like very arbitrary and they all look the same. Like, this is just, to me, a generic Scindapsus with mint variegation. So it's fine. I'm gonna leave it in matte because I get the appeal if you like Scindapsus. I don't really like Scindapsus. If I'm gonna have a variegated Scindapsus, at least give me like sectoral variegation. I'm pretty basic that way. Choose another one. Choose a philodendron, so we're not just picking on alocasias. This one is Florida Beauty hybrid with Mayoi, and I'm gonna say this applies to Philodendron tortum crossed with Mayoi as well. Why? Like, it feels like you took a nice plant, which is Philodendron Florida Beauty, and you made it worse. You took like the unique traits of it where it has very extreme differences in like the sizes of the points. I personally like that. I like the shape of Florida Beauty, and like the shape of Yopiai is kind of similar that way. But now you just added Mayoi to it and it's kind of just fattened it out, which if you're gonna do that, why not just get like a golden dragon or something? So I know philodendron hybrids have been one of the more novel things on the market lately. I don't like them, whether they're variegated or not. I do find them a little pointless and usually worse than the original varieties. So sorry, I think that one is gonna go into, oh, actually, okay, so that particular example, the problem is it looks nice. Like, I get the appeal. I just don't think it's necessary. But I'll leave it in matte because, okay, fine. Okay. Next one. This is Alocasia Regal Shield variegated. And I think I've actually been pretty generous with this photo. I think this is one of the nicest photos I've seen of them. Normally the variegation is a lot more yellow because the plant itself the base plant is relatively dark. So then when you add variegation, that's often when you start to get those muddy tones. So even though that photo looks decent, I don't really like it. I used to have Regal Shields, just the normal plant, and I did like it. It gets like nice big leaves. It's beautiful, especially if you can like grow it outside. But yeah, the variegated one, it's just not for me. So I think that one's going in Please Stop, along with the other variegated alocasias. I think I'm just prejudiced against variegated alocasias at this point. I'm over it. All right, okay. Anthurium time. This is the only Anthurium on my list because I like most Anthuriums. The only one I feel like has been really popular, including in hybrids and stuff, is King of Spades. And I get it because it's dark and it's round. For some reason, I do not like this one. And I think it's mostly the shape. I've been trying to figure out why I like most other Anthuriums, but this one bothers me and I can't really figure it out. Is it better than a lot of other ones on this list? Yes. I'm not sure I want to put it in. I'll allow it. Okay, fine. I'll put it up here. I'll allow it. How about another alocasia? Because we have lots of alocasias. Oh, here's another one with a very silly name. This is what I mean when I say that they're just like pulling names out of thin air. This one is apparently Alocasia Heart Balloon Pink Variegated. Okay, first of all, it's not really that heart-shaped. I think you're really stretching it. B, I think it's just an Amazonica hybrid or mutation of some variety. Like, it just, to me, looks like an Amazonica with a slightly different shape. And the pink isn't that pink. So I don't really understand why we're calling it its own thing. Like, I don't really understand. So you can go and join your Alocasia friends down here. Ooh, okay, here's a good one. This is Monstera Tattoo. There are a lot of Monstera sports on this list as well. And I am so done with Monstera deliciosa sports. Albo, fantastic plant. Ta Constellation, fantastic plant. I don't know why we need every variation under the sun, and it's like every time the slightest mutation happens with a Monstera, suddenly it's like a big deal and everybody wants it. And I just don't get it. This tattoo, again, very pricey. You can't even really tell from the front of the leaf. It's only really on the back of the leaf that you see this variegation, if you can even call it that. So that is totally not worth it. Like, I get it if you found this plant in a garden center and you were like, hey, cool, I found a Monstera sport. Like, that's awesome. But for the prices that it's commanding, no, I'm sorry, we're not doing that. Even if I got it for free, I would not be keeping it. Okay, who do I want to do next? How about this one? Okay, I believe this is Philodendron Firebird. And I do see like the color of it is nice. It's not as nice as like a red moon in my opinion, but it's nice enough. I'm really just not a fan of any of the philodendrons that have that growth pattern. I don't know what it is about it, but the big compact like paddly leaves, I'm just not a fan of. Like, they only ever look good if you can view them top down, you know what I mean? And the way a lot of my plants are set up, I don't really have places where you can view them just top down. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. Where do I want to put it though? Again, I don't think it's as bad as these alocasias, so I think I'll keep it in meh. It's okay. But for the price of it too, that's the other thing. Very expensive and kind of just looks like something you can pick up at your local garden center for 10 bucks, you know? If it was $10, nah, I still probably wouldn't get it. But like Prince of Orange is basically just a philodendron Prince of Orange with more sections of green on it. So I don't really get it. Another alocasia, this one is so bad. I think I'm gonna put this in compost right away because it is just so bad. This is Alocasia Yucatan Princess Mint, and I've been seeing several shops selling it. And as you may already know, I'm not a big fan of mint variegation, especially not when it looks like this. Like, the plant does just look sickly, and I don't understand. Like, are people actually buying this plant, or is it just shops advertising it, saying, oh, this is like the hot new plant right now? But then, like, no, is anyone actually purchasing these? I'm genuinely curious. Okay, let's do a Hoya. We haven't done a Hoya. I don't have that many Hoyas on my list. Most of the Hoyas, I mean, I like most Hoyas. I'm a Hoya person, so I feel like I can't judge them too harshly. This one is Juliana, and it's a Carnosa variation. I, again, think Carnosa there's so many sports of it now, and I'm over most of them. I mean, like, Argentia Princess is gorgeous. I think that is kind of like top tier for me. I don't think we can get much higher than that. This is just like, it's kind of interesting because it's got small leaves. It's basically a Crimson Queen, but with tinier, mutated, deformed leaves. So it's okay. I might put it in I'll allow it. No, I think it's gonna go in meh. I would propagate it and sell it, but I don't think I would keep a copy for myself. There are a lot of Monsteras on this list too. Okay, here's a Monstera. Which one is this one? Because there's too many. There's just way too many. This is Monstera Legacy, which I'm not sure what type of, like, what the base Monstera is for it. I just don't understand what is the appeal with this one, especially compared to Monstera Mint. And I think I've also expressed before, I'm not a huge fan of that one. This one is just like more yellowy variegation. It looks to me like a Thai constellation, like it looks like large form, like a Thai constellation, but more variegation. I'm just so done with these Monstera sports, so I'm sorry, that one has to go into please stop. I can't just have alocasias in there. Alocasias and Monstera, that's where you can be. Okay, how about one with pink variegation? This is Alocasia cuprea variegated. And I will admit, this is a pretty nice picture of it. I actually think this picture makes it look a bit more pink than I think they actually are in real life. I'm not a huge fan of the cuprea, just the normal version. I will admit that I think the variegated version looks better, but I don't think that it looks good. So Yeah, I think this one has to go in please stop too. Just stop all the variegated alocasias. Okay, here's another weird plant. Syngoniums, can't leave out the syngonium people here. It's a Syngonium rolli, and I mean, this is basically just a deformed plant that's had some mutation that the leaves don't unfurl all the way and is somehow stable, and people have propagated it. And the leaves are like kind of pinkish, I guess, in highlight, which maybe is why more people like it. But it's, yeah, really just like a deformed plant to me. I mean, you could argue that a lot of plants just look deformed that I like, and that's fine. But this one in particular is like, it looks like people have been interfering with plants, and yeah. I just think we went too far on this one, you know? Please stop. It's not as bad as these, but please stop. Next, this is one that has been around for a long time, but I've never really liked it. And that is the Philodendron Silver Sword. I've actually been wanting to judge this plant for a while now, so I'm glad it's finally come up. This is, I don't know, the variegation color is just not very appealing to me. And I think it's a plant that looks cute when it's small, but when it grows up, the leaves are just not that interesting to me. The petioles get kind of long, and it's just not, I don't know, I've outgrown it. I got rid of my normal silver sword a long time ago, and I don't think the variegation adds anything. I'm curious as to why they're still so expensive. I guess just a small amount of people that actually like it. Like, that's my guess. So it's never really been like super high in demand. I honestly don't know, but it's going into please stop. There we go. Okay, next let's do the, this is a banana. So it's a Musa Nono, I believe. So it's like a pink variegated banana. Honestly, in this picture, it looks pretty good. My biggest problem with it is that it's a banana. And I've never attempted to grow the regular variegated banana just because I know they're a pain. In my opinion, bananas aren't really suitable houseplants. They grow really tall. And again, when they're small, they look good. But I think they get big quickly, and you really need to have the right space for them in order to enjoy them. So I'm gonna put it in I'll allow it because, I mean, it looks nice enough. At least that picture looks really nice. Some of the other pictures I've seen are just a lot more dull than that. I think the albo variegation on the banana is nicer, but just the way they grow is not very appealing. So I'll allow it, but that's as good as it's gonna get. Here's another Monstera. This is Monstera White Lava, I believe. Sorry, compost for this one. Again, it's very obviously just a mutation. It's not a mutation that looks good in my opinion. It's different, but it's not like good different. It's like bad different, in my opinion. Yeah, just seems unnecessary to me. I don't know why people would pay a lot of money for that. How about this is Alocasia loco. So this is kind of similar to the Venom, kind of. The leaf shape is kind of similar. It has that like ripply edge. I think the curliness is a little bit more extreme on the loco, and I believe it's also a bit more affordable, which sometimes means it's actually more popular. And I'm sorry, this one has to go compost too, because I'm realizing these like mutant leaf shapes are just not really what I like. They really do look unhealthy to me. It reminds me of what happens when you have a leaf that's been attacked by thrips and then it never like unfurls properly. That's what it reminds me of. So the curly leaf shapes, I'm just not a fan. It doesn't look like a healthy mutation. How about another Alocasia? This is Alocasia, I think this is Wentii variegated, and I promise this is not just like a bad photo. It seems like they all look like this. And again, people will call this like pink variegation. It's like one of the pink variegated ones. And I think because the base plant is somewhat dark, you kind of get pink variegation, but it ends up being more of like a muddy yellow brown, which I've discussed before, I don't like that kind of variegation. So compost for that one, I don't think it's worth much of anything, to be honest. Here's another plant which with the same vibe, I think. This is Azizi Raven that is variegated. So people call it pink variegated. Some photos you'll see it look more pink than in this picture. I think you have to blast it with a lot of light to get it to look vibrant pink. So I think it can be done. It's not impossible, but you have to really try to get it looking that way. Plus, ZZ plants are notoriously slow growing, especially the variegated one. So by the time you get a plant that is actually big and looks nice, I just don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth it. So I think please stop, because I have seen a few plants. The pictures look okay, but I just think it's so unnecessary. This one, you might be surprised why it's even on this list. This is the Hoya compacta all black. It's basically a outer variegated Hoya compacta with silver as well. And I'll admit, like, it looks nice. It's the same kind of vibe as an Argentea picta or princess, but worse in my opinion. Sorry if you like Hoya compacta. I've never been a huge Hoya compacta fan to begin with, and part of the problem with them is they're super hard to propagate. They're a nightmare if they get mealybugs. And they grow so slowly. Even the normal ones grow super slowly. So I can't imagine how bad the silver version would be. I know the regular silver one grows slowly, so I can't imagine this all black one would be any better. So I'm gonna put it in I'll allow it because I do think it's pretty, but if you need to be de-influenced, like, listen to me, you don't need it, and you're going to kill it, and you might not be able to save it if it gets mealybugs or something. So for me personally, I will not be going out of my way to get that anytime soon. We're almost through all the alocasias. Okay, let's do alocasia. This is Silver Dragon variegated. For some reason, I'm not seeing very many like Albo white Silver Dragon variegated. They always seem to end up having this weird yellowy green variegation, which, like, Silver Dragon is quite a nice alocasia to begin with, in my opinion. I think it's really pretty. I think I think the variegation is actually detracting from it at this point. So that one is going to be a please stop. Not the worst of the alocasias, but not great, in my opinion. Next, this might also be a controversial one, Philodendron Elmanii. This one has been popular like for several years. I think during COVID it was a thing already, and now I think it's just become more available. More people can get it. I think you can get your hands on it if you want it. And I think as I've seen more of them, more pictures of them, more come into circulation, I just think there aren't that many of them that look nice. The variegation ends up being more of a creamy yellow color versus a white, which I'm not a big fan of. So some of them do look really unique, like the variegation is quite unique, but I feel like you get one leaf that looks nice, and then as it matures, it looks less nice because it kind of gets more green over time. So you're very, I think my enjoyment of it would be limited. Like, I think you could get the nice Instagram photo, but as a general plant to just enjoy, I don't think I'd really enjoy it. I'm gonna put it in I'll allow it because I think it's a lot nicer than some of these other plants, and you can get really nice specimens, but I think it's difficult to get a nice specimen. I think there's different clones as well that are in circulation, and some are nicer than others, but I've seen so many bad ones that it's not really my favorite. Sometimes the variegation ends up looking more like this, like just like a minty, weird variegation that, yeah, I'm obviously not into that. Speaking of plants with bad variegation, so another variegated alocasia, this is Tanderusa variegated. I haven't seen a single one of these that looks nice. Compost, sorry. I didn't really like even the original Tanderusa or Jacqueline. Tanderusa has like weird fuzzy hairs that I think kind of detracts from the pattern. Something about it I just don't like. It looks a little unhealthy, and the variegated one is even worse in my opinion. So that one has to go in the trash. Okay, so here's a very hyped up Monstera. I don't know if I can even say it's popular. I just know that it did kind of go viral when it came up at an Aroid show recently just for how much it was sold for. And that is the Monstera Devil Monster. Not White Monster, Devil Monster. So it might be a white monster and then another mutation on top of that. I'm gonna keep it, do I wanna keep it in meh? Because, okay, it's interesting, like the shape of the leaf is kind of interesting, I guess. Actually, I think I would like it more if it was just that leaf shape, but not variegated. Does that make sense? Like if it was just that kind of like Delta Force shape, but without the weird minty variegation, I actually think I would like it a lot more. So I'm gonna put it in Please Stop, because again, the variegated Monstera Sports do need to stop, in my opinion. At least give me some like interesting shape or something, which that one is doing, but also for the price and the hype around it, it's kind of insane. And I feel like I'm just gonna keep hearing about this for the next several years as it starts to come into people's actual collections. I'm over it, sorry. It was like day one and I was over it. Okay, but maybe I should go in meh, because it's not, at least it's interesting, you know? Okay, I'm gonna keep it in meh. Okay, next one. This is Alocasia Lauterbacheriana. I'm gonna look it up. Lauterbacheriana, variegated. I think the original Lauterbacheriana is okay. I don't love it. And the variegated version doesn't add anything. I think I've seen a few pictures where the variegation is nice and white. Most of them, they're not. And in my opinion, I don't think that plants with skinny leaves really benefit from variegation because there's so little leaf to variegate to begin with. Honorable mention, I didn't include Philodendron UPI variegated on this list, but I think it kind of suffers from the same problem. I like the original for the leaf shape, but I'm not sure the variegation adds anything because you can barely see it anyways. So a bit of a digression. I really don't like this Lauterbacheriana for that reason, and the fact that the variegation is just not nice, even on the bits that you can see, and I don't like the way the original plant grows, so it kind of has no redeeming qualities to me, other than, I guess, the leaves get big, and the leaf shape itself is kind of cool, but sorry, it's got to be compost for that one. Okay, last plant. This is Philodendron, what is this? There's so many, and they're so similar. I think this is Orange Princess. So again, another herbescence mutation, I'm assuming. And I will admit, like this orange looks really, really nice. I'm very skeptical that they actually look like that nice in real life. So if you have one, if you own one and you love it, please let me know. I'm just skeptical that they look this good. I would assume they're more muted, and when you get a more muted orange, it starts to get into that weird brownish category, which I'm not a fan of. If it was really this red, I think it would be nice. So I'll put it in I'll allow it. But if you really want an orange philodendron, just get a Prince of Orange. Like, they're so cheap and the color on them is actually really, really nice. So to me, this is kind of unnecessary, but at least the color is somewhat unique. I like it more than the Firebird. So I'll keep it in there for now, knowing that I think most specimens don't look that good. But if they do, I mean, you're welcome to change my mind. Okay, that's my list of all the plants I think are trendy and popular right now. Please let me know where you disagree with me, or if I missed any plants on this list that I should have included and you want to see me rank in the future. I love doing these kinds of videos. I think they are fun. And if you want to see my wish list video for 2024 and most likely 2025 by the time I get it all put together, please let me know and I will do that for sure. I think I have a lot of plants that I have either got a hold of and then killed or just haven't found this year. I guess I could do a wish list review too of what I have obtained and stuff. Anyways, if you want to see a list of plants that I do think are worth it, please let me know. And if you want to vote on videos in the future, you can sign up for free on my Patreon, and I will sometimes post polls there, so you kind of get a little bit extra for signing up. But anyways, that's enough for me. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and everything if you like the video. There are other things I could be doing with my time, like having a nap. So I do appreciate the support and the feedback. It really makes it worth it for me to do these videos for you. So I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye.